Is this odd? Yes. Do I think I'll like it? Probably not. Maybe I will though. Maybe I will. How can I turn a typical ham dinner upside down? Betty Crocker's answer? Ways with Ham N Limas. I'm Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. Today we are making Ways with Ham N Limas from Section S, Hurry Up Main Dishes, card number 20. I always love when Betty does the N apostrophe, Ham N Limas, Ham N Limas. And I think this card looks kind of intriguing to me. It's giving kind of shepherd's pie style assembly where you have kind of a casserole below a starchy crust. And then when I realized that she was calling it upside down supper because you essentially will like scoop the casserole out so that the like cornmeal biscuit crust is on the bottom of the serving plate, I was like, okay, sounds good. Let's do this upside down supper. Let's turn it around. I feel like Ham N Limas too just feels, I have no explanation for it, but it feels mid-century to me. Like I don't see a lot of people like using lima beans in their recipes these days. So I'm excited to give it a try. I think it's just gonna be like warm and cozy and inviting. So let's get started. Okay, let's have our way with some Ham N Limas. We're gonna start by mixing 1.5 cups of cubed ham. Put that in our bowl. With 1 cup of cooked lima beans. I boiled these according to the package directions. They got really weird and stinky. I didn't like the aroma. So we'll see how this goes. They're just like, it's giving bean. Too much. Then this is the scary thing. It called for a cup of cream style corn. I've never seen cream style corn. I knew kind of conceptually that it existed. I thought it was much more like the kernels were floating in cream. This, what came out of the can, is entirely goopier than I thought it would be. But I think that'll be good. I think it'll give some kind of casserole-ness to this dish, kind of bind things together. And the cream corn will be good with the cornmeal and the topping, so I don't know. Hopefully it's good. Then a cup of sharp cheddar cheese shredded. I'm just gonna do half the bag since I know there's 2 cups in the bag. Then 2 tablespoons of minced onion. And finally, a little bit of Worcestershire. We'll just kind of toss that together. Now the cream corn is really doing the heavy lifting in terms of binding the ingredients together. I think once the cheese melts in the oven, it'll be a part of that too. Is this odd? Yes. Do I think I'll like it? Probably not. Maybe I will though. Maybe I will. There's this book I read as a small child that has stuck with me. And it was like a girl who wouldn't eat her lima beans. And so she like developed these like rainbow stripes across her face. And like she was judged for it. And then at the end of the day, she ate her lima beans and it went away. I don't know. I remember lima beans were involved. I should look this up. That's all I know about lima beans. Is like as a child, I was instructed that they were weird. And I took that to heart. Okay, well, that's something. Let's put it in our casserole dish. The age-old question, will it fit in here? I think it will. Oops, it was supposed to be greased. Is it too late to grease it? Back up, back up. Okay, back to business. So we're gonna put this in our greased baking dish. I will say the color is interesting. It's nice springtime colors for us. Greens, pinks. So we're gonna put this in the oven for 15 minutes at 400. We'll mix the topping and then we'll pull it out and put the topping back on and then bake it some more. So let's do that. All right, while our casserole is in the oven, let's go ahead and make the topping, which is 2/3 of a cup of Bisquick baking mix and 1/3 of a cup of cornmeal. And to that, we're just gonna add 1/4 cup of milk and 1 egg. And it just says mix remaining ingredients. So I'm just gonna mix this together. I guess it's kind of wet. I thought there'd be more of it than this, but I guess you just want to spread a thin layer on the casserole, so we'll see how this goes. All right, it's out of the oven and the cheese has definitely started to melt, which is good. I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Spoon over hot meat mixture, spreading batter evenly to edge of casserole. I'm gonna try putting like a few different spoons in, like that. And then we'll try to spread it with this spatula. It just feels a lot like thicker than spreadable consistency. So I just don't know how it's gonna happen. Okay, we're spreading. Ow, I shouldn't have touched that. That was in the oven, you shouldn't touch it. It's like it's kind of spreadable. Edge to edge, I don't know about that. Get off of there, you're supposed to be underneath. I thought when the batter got hot that maybe it would make it easier to spread, but it's not. Okay, we've got maybe like a third of it spread, patching up the holes. Do I make more dough? It just doesn't feel like enough dough. Get back under the surface, Ham, right? Just wish I had a little bit more dough. Okay, I kind of did it. The dough is a bit patchy. Like there's definitely some Ham N Limas poking through, which I don't love. But I think we just have to see how things go. Maybe the dough will puff up. It does have Bisquick in it, which is like, has leavening, and like cover up the Ham N Limas. That's my hope. That's my dream. It's going back in the oven for 20 minutes. Okay, I figured it out. The book was called A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. It came out in 1998 by Blue Sky Press, a division of Scholastic. The main character secretly loves lima bean, however refuses to eat them because her friends dislike them. And she wants to fit in to the point of trying over 40 different outfits in an attempt to be fashionable. And then on the first day of school, she wakes up to discover thick, solid colored stripes all over her body. The children tease her, blah, blah, blah. She goes through increasingly preposterous metamorphoses. I remember that. She turns into a pill. She grows roots, berries, crystals, feathers, a long furry tail, as different specialists prescribe different treatments. She has different viruses, bacteria, and fungus colonies grow on her body after the community's expert scientists discuss the possible cause to her situation. Finally, she melts and merges into her room after an environmental therapist tells her to become one with the room. An old woman suddenly appears and accurately diagnoses Camilla's ailment. The cure, it turns out, is lima beans, and then she's turned back into a human. And then goes back to school. Her friends still think she's strange for liking lima beans, but she doesn't care even one bit. She enjoys being different and never has stripes again. Yeah, that's clearly kind of sat with me over the years. What a strange book. The 90s were different times. The things that raised me, I don't know. All right, our Ways with Ham N Limas is out of the oven. This upside down supper, if you will. And what's interesting about it is she says, cut into wedges, invert each onto plate. Wedges? This isn't a wedgeable thing. It's goopy down there. It is very firm on top though. Maybe I can cut it into wedges. So I guess, what is there to do? I also didn't use a round casserole dish, I used a oblong one. So I guess it's easier to cut a wedge into something that's round, but I think I'm just gonna, maybe I'll cut off this weird corner. I'm scared. Now it's time to invert. Why am I always flipping things upside down on this channel? It's exhausting. Betty, make something right side up for once. She's inverted. Did I lose a ham along the way? I did. This smells exactly like every other casserole I've made on this channel, which is not good. Because most of them are mediocre. But hey, let's give it a try. Let's give it a taste. Okay, let's give it a taste. I will say there's like areas where I can tell the cornbread is really deep and then other areas where it's more shallow. So that kind of plopping and spreading that I did, probably not the most effective. But let's get into it. Gotta get some cornbread and some ham and some lima. Like the girl with the stripes. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm gonna enjoy this. I just taste cornbread and ham. The lima bean flavor has kind of dissipated and just has a texture to it. A nice tender, chewy texture. I am getting a lot of corn, and I think that's partly the cornbread and partly the creamed corn. I'm not getting much cheddar cheese. The ham is ham. It's quite sweet, which maybe is the type of ham I bought. very spongy. Overall, I think it's fine. The cornbread itself is like pretty dry, so I guess it's a good thing that this like goop is served with it. It's just giving casserole. It's giving corn casserole with ham and lima. This would be a very hearty meal, very filling, and it's not bad. It's actually quite good. Well, we had our way with ham and limas. It's not bad. It is just kind of giving another variation on the same type of casserole I've made through this library many times, but it's decent. It's actually very like corn forward. If you like the taste of like kind of sweet corn and cornbread, this is nice. It's not too overpowering in flavor. It really is just kind of like subtle and a little bit sweet and very hearty and very filling. I could see how this could go a long way. This could serve a lot of people just because between the cornbread and the protein of the ham and the lima beans have a nice kind of like starchiness and denseness to them that I wasn't expecting. That probably adds a lot to it too. So I could see how this could be like a really hearty, warm, cozy meal. Yeah, not bad. Kind of strange, but not bad. And I think I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 red spoons. It's kind of right in the middle, you know? All right, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode and these ways with ham, why don't you check out ham snacks next? Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and until next time, happy homemaking.